in informal cooking, you're not bound to follow some recipe. You can create your artistry. I mean, you are not limited to following the written codes. But of course, if there are recipes, then you just have to follow. So I really fond of replicating or duplicating the examples of other people. I learned this in the house of the Decena when I was still there with Madam Raquel. They are actually frying the squash, and I was actually observing, and not only observing but tasting it, and I like it so much. So today we're going to cook. Our menu is about fried squash, and let's try kneading squash. I bought this from Emirates Madina supermarket and I already peeled it off. Another ingredient is a sweet potato. I also partially peel it off. Since I wanted it a little bit hotter, so I put chili on it. And an onion, a garlic. We would be needing 2 eggs. This oyster sauce, we will add a little of black pepper, a little of iodized salt, and this all-purpose flour, but it is written in Arabic. Let's have a translation in here, or let's translate it. Oh, here's a translation. First up, you have to wash all the washable ingredients. So all of the ingredients are pre-washed. Let's proceed now to prepare all the spices. I sliced all the spices already, and I have it even diluted with black pepper powder. And now the next step is you have to scrape the pulp from the squash itself, including the sweet potato. I was confused a while ago about scraping, because scraping, of course, you have to use some tools to scrape it off towards you, but the correct term is grating. That is Grating. So this is the grating machine that we're going to use to disintegrate the pulp of the squash and also the sweet potato. I am just using the bigger grid. So I am done grating the sweet potato. Next up is the squash. So I am done grating it. Oh, I think I'm going to prepare a huge banquet just for this. Oh. So this is just the ideal size of the grated sweet potato and the squash. So what's next is we just have to mix all the ingredients. I have placed already all the spices and just have to mix this all together. And since there's already a liquid portion of the grated squash and also the sweet potato, there's no need for us to add water, because later on also we're going to put eggs. So just mix it with your hand and make an estimate whether there's a need for you to add more flour. So by this time I think we need to add more. Then we'll add 2 eggs in it. I would like to recommend a supplier called Al Mazraa Eggs Poultry, because their eggs are actually huge and each egg has 2 yolks. These are the examples. Just added 2 eggs, but each egg produces 2 yolks. This is from egg 1 and then this is egg 2. So let's mix it again. So this is now our mixture. It is ready for frying. One of the tips that you need to understand in selecting the squash is that you have to select a squash that is not that mature, because the super mature squash, it's very hard even to grate, so it would be difficult onto your side. But I think also it has an advantage when you're going to cook it, because I mean, the pulp in itself seemed to be like creamy. That is the advantage of it. But for ease, and for ease to those who are cooking, at least it is not too difficult for you to grate the squash. So we are actually set for frying. I have turned on our infrared, and our karahai is already being placed. And this is informal cooking. I just cooked egg the other day, so I'm going to use the leftover oil from yesterday's cooking, so there is no issue about that. For the meantime, let us shape the mixture so that whenever it is going to be placed in here, there is a shape. I tried flattening the mixture here in the chopping board, and this is it. And I'm going to slice it so that portions of it is going to be fried. The divisions right now looks like pizza or like coconut salad or fruit salad. So nice. So just ensure that the oil is extremely hot before pouring in the mixture. Not pouring in, because pouring in is actually liquid or powder, but since it's already like solidified, so putting or transferring the mixture from the chopping board and to fry it here, I think we need to try right now. This is the first try. Here it is. So it's already at its perfect temperature, so we can put the other batches. Oh, it was cooked so fast. This one, it's already fried. Very quick. It's time to prepare sauce. So I'm preparing oyster sauce with black pepper, with vinegar, and chili powder. Oh, very hot. I just removed the karahai, the first cooked fried squash with potato in it. So this is how it looks like, the finished product. And it's time to taste. It's time to taste while waiting for the other batch. I have prepared the sauce already, and here is the fried squash with sweet potato in it. It's time to taste. Oh, it's hot. If the rock melon I tasted before, I don't like, this time I love it. So nice. I can taste the freshness of the chili and other spice, and the pulp of the squash, and then the sweet potato diluted with other spice. It became so delicious. You can have your own version in your house, of course, and thankfully I can eat now. I was actually very hungry, and this is not in accordance to my plan. I just actually planning to even boil vegetable, but it came to my mind. So thank you guys for joining me in this endeavor, informal cooking. Finished product right now. There is also another container full of this one. You can dilute this with ketchup or other form of sauce at your choice. Thank you guys.